The talk today is from a gentleman whose name is Victor Lombard, but aka Divine. Moderating today's discussion is Robert Hatcher, so he's going to be acting as the dialogue moderator for the conversation with Divine.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you picked the video, you followed the storyline that I assumed in the beginning of the video and throughout that I was engaged in selling drugs in the projects. But as you see at the end, the reveal, the DA agent comes and arrests me and he finds out I'm actually selling books. I was selling Ben's book, The Hard Thing About Hard Things. Ben is someone I met, how I got into technology, became a mentor to me, and changed my life forever. I met him about 3 years ago. So that's kind of the premise of the video, really to show that despite me being in the project still, my mindset changed, being a drug dealer, going into technology, and then really trying to push knowledge. And so that was the base of the video.
And I want to jump right into that. Because most of us, we may be between the ages 18 and 22 or a little bit older. In 5 minutes, can you kind of give us a brief description of where you were at 18, how did you get to the point that you are now?
Yeah, man, 18 years old, I was incarcerated in a juvenile facility. I was determined to change my life. Unfortunately, on the end of my sentence, I decided that I gotta get money. So I started devising a plan to reach a kilo of cocaine. And I was released from the juvenile facility where I got my GED. I was actually sentenced to a further order of court, which they could have held until I was 21. I had committed a crime at 17. So at 18 I was released, and I set out to reach a kilo of cocaine. That was my vision, that was my focus, and I did it. Over a 6-month period, back and forth to New York City, found a strong connection out there, bringing drugs back and forth from New York to Rhode Island, and I eventually reached a kilo. And I became real good at doing what I did in the streets, and the federal government took notice, and they arrested me. They arrested me, yeah, sent me away 19 to 7 years in prison under the crack law. So during that 7 years, my focus was strictly how do I elevate my mind so I can come back home at least up to speed, if not above and beyond. I definitely couldn't be behind. That wasn't gonna work. So I knew I had to really focus and build my mind up. So what happened was I did that, focus on the music industry, focus on becoming not only a recording artist, but also an entrepreneur. 2 years later, I came across Ben on TV, resparked my thought that I wanted to meet him, and I did. I reached out to him on Twitter, and he befriended me, his wife befriended me, and changed my life. As I said earlier, it changed my life forever. How do you have determination, ambition, perseverance, resilience, all these things that I tapped into that we all have. How do I deal with it mentally? How do I deal with it emotionally? So they looked at that and I said, how can I take that story and take my ideals about who I am and create a product around it that I can bring value to the world? How can I leverage those skills and the talents that I know I have, whether I have a degree or not, to say I got these talents and skill sets. So I knew it would be in technology. I just didn't know what. But things went on, like all things in my life, I didn't go to it came to me. And that's how my life has always been. It's just paying attention to all the signs and symbols. So I was able to come across a technology that wasn't being leveraged in the US. And it was a technology that dealt with a prepaid debit card. And I looked at, and at that time I discovered that African Americans as a group have over $1 trillion in spending power annually. So that kind of had blown my mind. I started scratching my head saying, okay, why are the African American group so impoverished? Why don't they have financial and economic power? Their condition is so low compared to the money they have access to. I had to figure that out for myself. But then I realized that no one has a real solution. There's no solution out there. There can't be. And I knew that. So I said, okay, how do I take this technology that I came across, leverage it in a way, bring it to the US, leverage it in a way for this group first, because they're in the worst condition of every group in the US. Relative to their spending power, how can I empower them? A lot of people say passion, right?
Right.
You always get the answer, be passionate about what you do. I definitely agree with passion, but Ben Horowitz taught me something iller than passion, something greater than passion. It's contribution. So it's don't follow your passion, follow your contribution. Because you're passionate about something doesn't necessarily mean that's what you should be doing. You may not be that skilled at what you're doing because you're passionate about it. And I think American Idol is a good example of that. Just because you're passionate doesn't mean you should follow your passion and turn that into a business. But what Ben says, don't follow your passion, follow your contribution. So to me, I started thinking about that, like, okay, yeah, I agree with that because, like I said, I wanted to create something not only where I can make money, that it was a good market fit, it was a good business, the market was there, but I wanted to create something that had value beyond that had human value, and it had and something that I can contribute to society. So that being said, I said, why can't I be passionate about my contribution? That's what I want to be passionate about. Be passionate about contributing to society, and that's kind of where I took it. You know what I mean? And I think first is that be passionate about your contribution. Believe in yourself. Believe in you. Believe in others. Right? When you got to build a team, when it comes time to build a team, you have to believe in the individuals that you're aligning with. Because it's like a marriage, you're going to be there for a long time. And there's a lot of people fail because the team couldn't gel. Teamwork makes the dream work, as they always say, right?
Right.
So I think those are the core things that need to first be the focus.
Okay.
And then after that, everything else comes after that. The ambition, the drive, the hustle, the grind, the grit,
Right.
and all those other things.
Right. Even a lot of people who start with their ideas, they don't think about their ideas in terms of the market. They just say, hey, I'm inspired, I'm just gonna go out and do those things. How did you have the acumen to understand, okay, I wanna offer a product or a solution, but I understand that this is the right fit for this demographic. How did you acquire those type of skills?
I think a lot of my ability, which I think a lot of people are wowed by, in a large degree, because they don't know who I am.
Right.
But people that grew up me and know me, outside of my family, they've always seen this in me. Like I've always exercised this level of ability. I'd say just the ability to be able to see things, like vision things.
Right.
I have no formal education, right? Besides 8th grade. So I've always been a visionary. I've always vision, how can I solve this problem? Or how can I solve it first? So I always look at the solution first, and then I go back and say, okay, how do I get to that solution? So I envisioned what it could be. I knew I needed a kilo of cocaine, right? Because I knew if I got to a kilo, that would allow me to take my mother out the projects, help assist her in getting help to get clean. So I was passionate about that, but I knew that was my contribution to my mother because I loved her. Unfortunately, I just took the wrong route because I was a child, I was a kid, young teenager, making the wrong decisions the wrong way. But that was my resources. What it boils down to, I've always been a visionary.
Right. You seem like you had all this vision, this raw talent. Did he provide a sense of strategy, a sense of understanding, or a sense of direction?
Absolutely. So to stay with the narrative that I'm giving you about how I envisioned the kilo of cocaine being my savior, or being where I needed to go, Ben Horowitz became that kilo of cocaine. When I saw Ben's life, when I saw who Ben was, what he was doing, Ben became that kilo. As a kid, 13, 14, 15, 16, the kilo was my dream. I was determined to get it because I knew that would solve my problems.
Yeah.
We're looking at Ben becoming that kilo. Parallel to that, I was like, yo, if I can just reach that level of intelligence and tech or in venture capital, then my problems are solved. And then I can then really be passionate about my contribution because I'll be able to support my contribution to the world.
Right.
And exercise that. I gotta think up here. I can't think down here.
Right.
So that's always been the type of dude I've always been. My connections, people I connected with, relationships, have always been at the high level, never at the low level. So I knew that I had a long, arduous task of being able to fit the shoes of a Ben Horowitz. To at least reach for it. I have that as a lofty goal.
Right.
So I know that if I do hit something, I'm not gonna be too far off.
Right.
I'm gonna land somewhere pretty good.
Right. This long uphill battle that you have to climb. What would you say were the biggest impediments for making that transition to going to start your own venture that you would advise, aspiring entrepreneurs, other students to watch out for, that can translate to anybody regardless of industry?
So I had to figure out how can I expedite that?
Mm-hmm.
How can I get high level information? Because I already had really positioned myself through discipline of being in prison, being incarcerated, of studying long hours, being up all night, reading. I love reading. I think reading is one of the illest talents you can have. A lot of people don't like reading these days.
Right.
They want information fast and they want it digital. But picking up a book, reading is really one of my skill sets. That's like my secret weapon, if you would.
Right.
So I would find all the high level books, and I have a strong comprehension ability. So I would just read, and that's kind of how I position myself in this day and time. To not be able to leverage a large part of what's online and what's available to really position themselves to build a company, to build a startup, to understand the entrepreneurship landscape. So those are the things that I did personally. You have to believe in what you're doing without question. But just because you believe in something doesn't mean it's actual fact. Because they say when knowledge comes, belief dies. I used to believe in Easter Bunny. I used to believe in Santa Claus. Knowledge came and those figments of my imagination died. So that being said, it has to be beyond just your belief. You have to take your belief and put it into action. You have to have an actionable plan. You have to organize. You have to definitely be strategical. And sometimes majority of the time, it takes more than just one person. It takes a team of people. That's why the team is so important anytime you're building a startup. The team is important. Not anybody in here has done anything alone or by themselves. We all came through somebody, through something, through some experience. So you're never an island. It's always how do you connect with other people and create that human network and the exchange of value between human beings. How do you create that? And what the real challenge is for us as human beings is how do you create that outside of who we are as a group of people. I'm African American, or I'm white, or I'm this, I'm that. How do we let that open up where the diversity comes in? And that's the real power, us coming together as human beings.
What advice would you give to other entrepreneurs as far as how do you go about acquiring and figuring out the right team for your venture?
Oh man, I think it's a case-by-case basis. I think you're gonna come across your team. Every entrepreneur, every founder finds his team different ways. It might have been a college buddy. It might be someone that you meet through networking at an event. Me personally, I was able to spot technology that I could utilize to solve a problem, a big problem. And I was like, okay, who's behind the technology? Because he's the one that knows all about this technology. I need to learn this and get him on my team. I was fortunate enough or blessed enough to leverage that and basically present my narration or my narrative in a way that compelled them to want to work with me. That compelled them to say, wow, this is amazing how you see what I'm doing and how you could use it in a way that could create a great product, a great social impact, and solve a huge problem. And I think that was the key connect right there for him and I. We had something in common.
Right.
We both had a problem we wanted to solve.
Right.
He knew he had the technology to solve it. He knew I had the vision to make it a reality. How do I find a technical founder? There's all kinds of sources out there in ways that you can engage people and find people, but I think it's going to come to you in the way that you least expect it. If you look for the obvious, I don't think you're going to really find the right fit there, because you can go through all the obvious channels and ways that you can find a co-founder. It's when it's that unique way that you find a co-founder, a unique way that you find a technical founder that you really need to focus on, I think. People who believe in the same thing you believe, the connection.
Here you are incarcerated and you get connected with Ben, right? How do you even make that type of communication? I mean, I'm not incarcerated and I know I don't have a chance to get connected. So how you gotta give me the secret? You gotta let me know is this a gift? How strategically did you understand, okay, if I want to get in front of this guy, if I want to communicate with this guy, this is the way that I go about it.
See, now you're gonna make me give you my secret.
Oh.
See? That's proprietary, you know. But that's really true though. It is intellectual property actually. But it's intellectual property, not just a divine's making. I don't own it. It's intellectual property that we all have. We all have genius. We all don't tap into it. We have to find ways to tap into it. So 3 things I would say: conceive it, believe it, achieve it. And it's really that simple. That's my secret. All my life I had exercised the ability of magnetizing my mind. I call it my mind magnetization, where I no longer really have to go to things, things come to me. And all my life I've exercised this. And I never really understood it. I just moved through life just feeling blessed and feeling I could do this, I could do that. And I think that's where it really came from.
Right.
I always believed in myself. So that belief in myself as a kid and just being mature beyond my years, because you're able to do, I can do it. My mom ain't gotta hold my hand, I can do it. You just feel confident that you can go out in the world and conquer it, right? My birth name is Victor. And that's how I live my life. I'm a victor. I win. So I've always believed it, right? It was just there naturally. The belief was there, and I achieved it all my life to be able to do it. So that's really my secret, man. Which it really isn't a secret at all, because we all have it. You just have to find it within you. Tap into it, harness it, and then direct it, control it. I use a saying, sometimes we get sloppy as sin, but we go against law and order instead of going with law and order. And then that's when the blessings come. That's when the universe supports you. That's when everything comes to you. You make it. We basically get out your own way. We stay in our own way, right? So if me, somebody who has an 8th grade formal education, a decade of incarceration, and no tech background, can enter technology, can build a core team at a high level, and I can put myself in these circles to engage with these people, then that speaks volumes to my secret. It speaks volumes to the way that I'm leveraging myself or leveraging my internal skill sets that we all have.
So go ahead.
And to close that out, that basically says that if I can do it, I know you guys can do it. There's no excuse for you, because I'm not making one.
How do you even begin to approach or make an introduction to somebody of that caliber?
I think with Ben specifically, what intrigued me about Ben was that he loved hip hop. Again, we go back to the common denominator with your co-founders and your technical founder. You have to have that thing that clicks with you, right? So with Ben, it was hip hop. I didn't believe he loved hip hop. I thought it was a publicity stunt. I thought it was, I just didn't think it was real when I read the article that this guy loved hip hop. Billionaire, Silicon Valley, venture capitalist. Hip hop, it just didn't make sense. It's almost like back in the day, Sesame Street, when he said one of these things, someone's doing their own thing, one of these things don't make sense, right? So it didn't make sense to me. And that being said, I was really intrigued by it, and I was curious as to if it was true, why? So 2 years after I got out, I researched Ben again online, and I found the blog. I found his blog. His blog was Ben's blog, and the latest blog post was called Legend of the Blind MC, and he detailed why he loved hip hop. And I'm not gonna give away the story. Definitely go check it out. It's worth the read. But when I read that, blew my mind. I read some blogs after that, and it spoke to Ben's character. That further impressed me. I was impressed by him. And I don't get impressed by too many people. That compelled me to reach out to him on Twitter. So I was like, yo, I just came home, just performed with Rakim, and we just started talking on Twitter, back and forth. And I asked him to follow me so I could talk to him directly, in private. And I told my life story. And I said, I initially was gonna ask you to invest in my music company. I said, but now that I have this opportunity, I want to know if you'll mentor me. Will you teach me what you know? Will you mentor me? And I told him, the old adage goes, give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. Teach a man how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. So I wanted to be fed for a lifetime, so I said, teach me how to fish. And he came back and gave me his email address, and the rest is, as they say, history.
That's amazing. So you reached out to him on Twitter?
On Twitter, man.
Twitter? Man.
Yeah, some of my other connections I've made since being in technology and doing my startup has been via social media.
Wow.
Real powerful tool. It's all about the convenience. It's all about the efficiency of things. That's what technology does. It makes things easier. But we can't lay on it to where we don't work hard anymore. You know, it streamlines a lot of things for us, especially connecting with people in communication and business and every aspect of life, actually. So technology should be leveraged at a level to allow you to make these connections faster, more efficiently. I used it, and I continue to use it, and it's been very, very beneficial to me, and I've been able to leverage a lot of relationships and a lot of momentum for my business.
Going back to your venture, and you know, we have the entrepreneurship program here. Several people have been incubated. We have these, different clubs, and everybody starts with an idea. And to go from idea to execution is so hard because we have all these different assumptions. You know, we think the market will do this, but it shows us something different. Can you just speak to the process of going from ideation to the point where you're ready to execute?
Yeah, that's interesting. I can give you my journey. I started IDing it. Fintech is the most regulated,
Right.
regulated part of technology within technology. So I had an uphill battle from the door. Not only that, I knew nothing about fintech. I knew nothing about technology. So it was double for me, right? I was able to formulate a team that did know fintech, that did know technology. So that being said, I just started IDing it, and then I had a team around me that really knew how to execute. And I knew how I wanted to execute. I've always been strategic minded. In the streets, I would always figure out, okay, how do I avoid the cops? And how do I be able to sell my drugs over here, to cut my competition here? Right. So all these different things. I've always been strategical, but I didn't know all the formalities of, the jargon or the words. I would just come up with the idea and let's do this and let's do that. And I think this would work here. And if we look at other things in the past of other products, and I just got a raw entrepreneurial talent, man. Right. It's really just raw, right? And so, but having a team around me was able to show me okay, let's ideate this and let's execute this way. And I was accepted into the Village Capital Fintech US 2016 program. Right. I completed that, so that really gave me the formal knowledge I needed to be able to build that stuff out. Right. So, but I don't think entrepreneurship is anything easy at all. There's so many things to study, and data. Data is really good at helping you, but sometimes data is not enough. Right. You have to really get that MVP, minimum viable product, get that out there, see how it works. And there's so many key things that they say in technology. Right. And pivot if you need to, or course correct if you need to. So I this is my first time I'm faced with where I have to do a little course correction. I had to figure, okay, how do I course correct certain things? I was going this way, some things got in my way. We have to shift over here. And I've always been able to do that, but this is the first time I've really had to look deeper into pivoting and course correction for myself. Right. So I think it's different for every founder. Always expect the unexpected. Right. That's entrepreneurship. Yep. That's the startup game. You can have the map, you can have the knowledge, you can have the books, you can have the data, but until you have that product out there, living, breathing, and working with other humans interacting with it, you're gonna know exactly how to fully execute everything.
And I have
a plan to fail. That's it. That's a plan to fail.
I have plenty of questions to ask you, but I don't want to be selfish with the time. So
okay.
We're gonna open up questions to the audience. If
Definitely.
Has a question, just come up to the mic.
What was that moment for you where it was I don't know if I should keep going with my journey, with my vision, and how did you get through that obstacle? I wanted to know.
It was the police. They really made me think about what I should do when they arrested me, if I should continue on this course. But really, I think that really it was a higher power, and I don't really speak too much towards religion, but I do speak heavily towards spirituality. Because to me, they're two different things. I think it was definitely my spiritual fortitude that allowed me to get through life since an early beginning, right? My mother losing her to crack cocaine, being thrust into poverty. I think all those things spoke to the spiritual fortitude I would develop. Because I'm 13 years old, man. I'm making adult decisions. I'm doing adult things. I was always ahead of my time in how I thought and how I moved. So it definitely, if I look at the thread throughout all these times of being younger, being incarcerated, and even now, has been really my spiritual fortitude. I don't think about too many things. I'm more intuitive than anything. So I kind of like feel what's next. How do I move? And I just meditate on those things. And then answers, they come to me. They just come to me and I'm able to move out on them.
If you could tell the 22-year-old you know anything, what would you go back and tell you?
Find another way, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, but that was a psychological thing. You know, I sold drugs at 13 years old. Everybody was doing it. That was a resource that I had. That was a pathway that was shown to me. So I got caught into a negative psychological cycle, and then dealing with recidivism because I always went back to selling drugs. But I always needed to get that money. But that's, at the end of the day, if you do it that way, that's repercussions of that, right? Being incarcerated or going or dying. You know what I mean? And I had a few brothers in my life that I've lost, you know, to the drug game, unfortunately. How you doing?
Well, I'm an aspiring entrepreneur as well. And as I was looking more into your company, I wanted to know a little bit more about the
Blak Card? So the Blak Card is a prepaid Visa debit card. It's a next generation prepaid Visa debit card that's attached to a real bank account. And it allows a user to actually establish on a bill credit. We have a banking system technology where we're able to issue checklist accounts. We issue a routing number, account number, we can do bill pay, and that bill pay history gets reported to the 3 major credit bureaus. So it's a prepaid product that actually allows you to establish a bill credit. We took it further than that, and we've integrated a social impact component that consists of financial literacy and entrepreneurship education. Because I think it was very important to empower people and how they could leverage their finances, their resources, their income at a higher level. Because I believe that we all can, we don't have to remain in poverty. When you enrich the mind, you then can display that in reality, become rich. So our objective is to take people from being impoverished, being in poverty, to becoming wealthy. And that's what we say, we empower the financially excluded to build wealth. And that's what the Blak Card is, a financial tool to do that. It's more than just a debit card.
My name is Rachel Michelle, and I pretty much have a question about with startup companies. Right now I have an idea for an app, and I just don't know how to get out of that idea stage and to actually put it into fruition. I just wanted to ask you, I don't have a lot of technical background, just more of a liberal artist, but I just want to know, like, how do you go about finding resources that could, help launch your app, or just, I'm sorry, just trying to figure out what I'm trying to say, but how do you overstep boundaries, like having limited resources? Is what I want to ask.
No, that's a good question. I think if you have an internet connection,
Yes.
you start there. I think the internet is full of is full of a lot of information that can answer your question. One woman comes to mind, African American, Sheena Allen. She's the one I met at a fat startup in Oakland. She has a whole book she actually wrote. She has a whole step-by-step process of how you go from not being a technical person to building an app. I think she's worthy to be plugged, so definitely, I think she's a great resource. There's another woman, I can't recall her name at the time, right now, at the moment, but she also does the same thing. She actually shows you how to not even use technology to really even build an app. It's almost like drag and drop to build apps. So there's a lot of resources out there. You just have to find them and really dig and really be diligent. You'll uncover a lot of resources, a lot of jewels on how to do that.
What are like the legal aspects that you would go to secure your idea?
patent office, yeah. Copyright, if it's maybe music or something. But there's a lot of attorneys out there that do pro bono work as well. Find those online. And what's interesting about that you mentioned attorneys or law, is that I faced that dilemma where I had the company ready, I was doing my thing, I'm like, I need a lawyer now. How do I find an attorney? I went to my network and asked, how do I find an attorney? I need somebody that, pro bono, I don't have any money. And I was able to find a lot of attorneys will actually give you a threshold, especially if you're in a position where the company's ready to go. They'll give you a threshold of about $10,000 to $15,000. Some do $25,000. Where if you're in the position of being funded or getting funded, that they'll defer that.
What was the biggest mistake that you made while you were starting Blak Fintech, and what did you and your partners learn from it?
Just, I think, man, I'm gonna take a type of dude like this. I love the struggle, man. You know what I'm saying? That's the truth. I love the struggle, man, because the struggle pushes me to excel. If there's no hardship, man, and it's all easy, I don't want it all easy. My life's never been like that. And I think I show and prove and I perform my best when I'm under the gun, when I'm dealing with the pressure and the struggle. As far as mistakes made, I think it would be being able to position myself before I was actually ready. You know what I mean? Meaning I could get to this level, but I kind of still had a few levels I had to perfect. I'm 2 years deep in this, right? A lifetime of hustling, yeah, but not being an entrepreneur and formally not building a startup. So I'm still new, I'm still learning. But I embrace the errors, I embrace the mistakes, and when I see them, I go back and I course correct. So I was able to get here, but I still needed to fine tune some things here. And I'm learning that now. So those are the kind of mistakes I made where I should have been fine-tuning the things here before I got there.
Thank you.
So it's always good to see a fellow from up top doing well. I'm from Jersey myself. So I'm a founder of On the Way, it's like Airbnb for cars. I also serve as a founder in residence locally here at Switchyard, which is a B2C startup community. So, I wanted to speak with you and find out, what is it that the Blak Group is doing specifically to be more hands-on, maybe with as far as resources and enriching those young mind entrepreneurs. Things similar to this, right? You're out here speaking to us, dropping those gems. What are some other ways that the Blak Group is being involved with young entrepreneurs to continue pushing this mentality forward of hustle, grind, grit, go get it?
Of course, I'm focused on Blak Fintech, and but the Blak Group overall is an initiative. It is an objective, and it is an organization to do that. We want to reach back to these communities and empower them through financial literacy, through entrepreneurship education, and that's the goal. Right now, the focus is Blak Fintech, and and me getting out in the communities and telling my story and how I did what I did, and that's kind of like the first phase of it all. Really pushing the Blak Group at a large level to really reach back out into these communities and empower young minds.
That was actually my first step as a startup role. I was with a fintech company, which is like location-based payments, similar to Venmo.
Okay, yeah.
So very familiar. Would love to kind of talk after this.
Absolutely, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What kind of resources did you come across or experiences in your life that really helped shape your intuition?
And again, I'll say that most of my life has never really been me thinking through things. It's really been being intuitive. I think I got that since I was a kid. I've had that. I never really understood it, and I developed it more through reading spiritual books, studying all types of religions, and just really pulling out of every religion what resonated with me. So I think spirituality and your relationship with the Most Higher Power is a personal one, and then it's all about how do you take that personal relationship and how do you tie it to the world around you, meaning everybody, right? And I think that's where it comes from. It comes from you positioning yourself, first of all, to embrace spirituality, or embrace a higher power, and then I think it's a natural progress. I don't think it's so much, I read this, so I read that. That kind of directs you to the way, but I think it's more natural and it's within. It's organic, and I think that you'll know because you'll feel it. I think that's kind of the best way I can answer that.
Thank you.
Well,
Round of applause for both.